Hey y'all, and welcome to Monter's Market, and welcome to my Eucalyptus Dreams video. Today's video is sponsored by Flexispot, and I cannot wait to tell you all about Flexispot, but we'll get into that after we get into DIY number one. So for DIY number one, I am going to make this gorgeous tray. I got these trays from Woodpecker Crafts recently, and the quality is amazing, and the price is ridiculously low. So I'm going to use the next to the last biggest one, or the second biggest one, however you want to say it. Then I'm going to take this little mold and my favorite clay, and I'm going to just make me a few pieces of trimmings, or whatever you want to call it. I also will be using some that I made in a video, I don't know, a few weeks ago. I don't remember when it was. So I put my clay in and I let it dry. And while I waited for that to happen, I went ahead and I took some antique wax and I waxed my tray. I love antique wax on raw wood. If you've ever watched me before, and you've watched me a lot, you know that I love antique wax on wood. It just brings it out so beautifully. And then once you get it painted with the antique wax, or stained with the wax and wiped back off, you can do anything to it. You can go paint it a different color and then sand it down in different spots to distress it. Or you can add, like I'm doing now with the white chalk paint, add something else on top of it, but give it a really heavy distress coat so that it shows through, giving you the same effect as if you would have sanded it down in different spots, if that makes any sense at all. So either way, it works, but I needed a lighter background for what I'm going to be putting on my tray. And like I said, I love the look that it gives when you use the antique wax to darken the wood and then use the white Waverly chalk paint to just, I'm going to say heavily distress it, because I didn't want it a light distressing. I only wanted a little bit of that brown wood peeking through here and there. And I wanted this tray to look old and rustic, because you know I'm all about old and rustic. Now, these are candlesticks that I also got from Woodpecker Crafts. And you know, when I buy candlesticks, I'm 9 times out of 10 going to use them as a stand or feet for something, and the same goes here. These are gorgeous, and they were so inexpensive and so thick, and I mean, the quality is just top notch. Again, I'm going to take my antique wax, and I'm going to go over all of my legs. Now, sometimes when I put the antique wax on, I don't take it back off, because a couple of different reasons. One, I just like the darker wood that it gives. And two, sometimes the wood takes it in so good that you can't wipe it back off. But look here, this is the star of the show today. These transfers are called Eucalyptus Dreams, and they are from Timeless Designs. I've used them before, THYM, like the time that you would eat. Timeless Designs, which I thought was brilliant. But anyway, I just love these transfers, y'all. They're rub-on transfers. They're so super easy to use. This is the little stick that comes in the pack, and I just took the part of the transfer that I wanted to put on the tray, peeled it off, put it down, and went to town with the little stick. And it's probably the easiest thing in the world to do when you're using rub-on transfers. I don't know who invented rub-on transfers, but I wish I could give them a big hug and a big kiss, because they make my life so much easier. You literally just lay your transfer down and you scrape it on. Now, I highly suggest using the little scraper that they send, because that's what it's made for, and it actually works really good, and it makes your life easier when you use that. A lot of times I misplace mine and I have used my fingernail, or, which takes forever, or other things. But look here, y'all gonna be proud of me if you watch me before. I painted the bottom of all 4 of my legs. I don't know why, but sometimes I forget to paint one. But anyway, Now I'm going to take these little handles from the Home Depot. At my Home Depot, they're 99¢. And watch how I glue it. I'm going to put a little dab of glue on the bottom, glue it down, and when I press down, watch what happens. See that? It comes through and it makes like a little knob. Once I paint it with that black chalk paint or any kind of paint that's black, it looks like a little nail head is there. Now, these are some embellishments that I made a while back, along with some that I made earlier. And I just kept playing around until I got the ones that I wanted on there, and I glued them down. And once I glued them down, I took my antique wax and I just sort of went all over everything and distressed it down. And like I said, I did go back to those little nail holes on my handles and used some black chalkboard paint from the Dollar Tree and just dabbed a little dot of paint on it, and it just looks like a little nail head there. Now, that thing isn't thick enough to put an actual nail in, but let me tell you something about that wood glue. Honey, it ain't going nowhere. I've used that hot wood glue from Starbond before that you get at Walmart, and you can't pull whatever you put on off because it's stuck. But look, y'all, tell me what you think about my tray. I love it. I think it is beautiful. It's old-timey. It's rustic. It just very French country, very farmhouse. And y'all know I'm all about some farmhouse and French country. And I just love this thing. And I love, love, love the sticker that I used on the inside of it. It is just gorgeous. Look at that sticker, y'all. It's so beautiful. Again, it's Eucalyptus Dreams. I got it on Amazon. The link will be listed in my description box. But for right now, let me tell you a little bit about Flexispot.
From work, and
Listen up.
I came in here real quick to get rid of all of this stuff because I got a package today and I cannot wait to show you. I don't even think I'm gonna change out of my scrubs. I'm gonna leave them on. Let me keep my shoes off. Let's go see what it is. It is a Flexispot E1 standing desk, and I am so in love with this desk. The best thing about this desk is its stability. It is so stable, even when you're raising it up and down. I can have all of my paints out. I can have a glass of water sitting there or whatever I'm using, and when I'm raising it up, I don't have to worry about it tilting or sloshing or spilling or anything like that. It creates a more comfortable and productive work environment for me, leading me to a healthier lifestyle as well. It comes with a 30-day risk-free return policy and a 15-year warranty, and I highly recommend you give it a try. I'm telling you, this is the best desk that I've ever used, and if I were you, I wouldn't even waste my time looking at other companies because Flexispot is the best. Now, let me tell you about my desk. I had my husband help me put it together, and we put it together in about 45 minutes. I loved it when I sat down and started crafting. When my back started hurting, I was able to stand up and continue crafting. It came with step-by-step instructions, and it was so easy to put together. Even after working 12 hours, I was tickled because not only did they send me this desk, they sent me a ton of accessories to go with it, but the most beautiful thing about this whole desk, in my opinion, is the bamboo top. The bamboo top is beautiful, it's sleek, it's stylish, and it just set this desk to a whole nother level when it comes to the look. You can have a desk, but look at this desk. This is not any old desk. This is gorgeous, and I love it. They also sent me this monitor riser here that added a lot more space. It was almost the length of the table, and I love the extra space that it gave me. They also added a drawer, which I have room for all of my pencils and pens and paintbrushes and things like that. And this neat little under the desk cord organizer that keeps all of your cords in one spot where it's not messy and hanging down and ugly. And then they sent this power strip that clips to the desk, and it has 3 charging spots, a USB and a Type-C. And look at how beautiful this desk is when it came together. I Love it. You need to go get you one. There is a link in my description box along with a coupon code. And let's get into DIY number 2. Because if y'all know me, I can go on and on and on and on when I love something this much. But for now, we'll just get to crafting again. For DIY number 2, I'm going to make this vase. Now, this vase is going to come together with lots of things. These are the little things that I put together with the clay earlier in DIY number 1 and didn't end up using. But while they were still a little wet, you can see where they're kind of whitish. That's where they're starting to dry. But I did not want them to dry completely because I wanted them to dry on top of my jar so that it would, or my vase rather, so that it would be formed to the jar, or the vase itself. I don't know why I want to keep calling it a jar. And then that way, when they're completely dry and I glue it on there, it's perfect. Like it's the perfect shape so that it can fit. And I'm telling you, I'm so glad I thought about doing this while it was still wet because I love the outcome. So I let them sit overnight and dry on top of my vase. And when I woke up the next morning, they were perfect and I was ready to go. So I took my little embellishments, and for the top one, I went ahead and glued it on. Then I painted the whole thing with some white Waverly chalk paint. I want to say it only took 1 coat, but I honestly don't remember if it took 1 or 2. But either way, I painted it, and once it was done, I was in love with it just the way it was. But I decided to take the bottoms off of a couple of these cloches. I am always using the cloches, but not using the bottoms to them. So I grabbed the 2 bottoms and I put one on the bottom and one on the top because I wanted it to be a little bit taller and I wanted to be able to close it. Well, these little things right here are the little things that they make at Dollar Tree that you can put in your cup holders in your car, and they were perfect to put in that. Now, I thought I wanted to go around the edge with some of those beads, but once I got to doing it, I just did not like it and decided against it. So I went ahead and just took the beads off and went with just a little knob that I got from Amazon. That's me still trying to figure out somewhere to put those little half beads. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and glue it. And again, I'm just using my wood hot glue because you just get such a good hold. You can get a little bag of those for $2.88 at the Walmart. And when I'm using things that I want to stick really, really, really good, and I know I don't ever want it to come apart, that's what I use. So I'm using both of those little round things to bring it up a little bit because there was a little space in between the bottom of that cloche, and I wanted to raise it up. Here I go again trying to make them little half beads work, and I've just kept changing my mind about it. So I'm going to take my white Waverly chalk paint and I'm going to go ahead and paint the top and the bottom of those cloches and get them ready to use as my topper. Now, you've seen those little knobs right there before. I get them in a huge bag from Amazon. As always, they will be listed in my Amazon store, and there will be a description in the description box below. And I just made me a little handle for the top. And I am so glad that I decided to use these little bottoms of these cloche holders because to me, it just brought this vase up to a very high-end vase from, just a little simple $1.25 vase. So now I'm taking my ink and I'm going all around everything and distressing it a little bit with the black. Then I'm going to go in with my antique wax and distress it a little bit heavier, and using those 2 colors gives it a little bit of depth and dimension and a lot of character. And y'all know I love distressing. If you don't like distressing, definitely leave this part off and keep it just as sleek as you want it. Don't worry about the distressing. But now I'm going to take the middle wreath. So these are 2 different wreaths that came in my package of Eucalyptus Dreams, and I wish I would have thought to cut that a few times before I tried to put it on there because I fought with it to get it around that little embellishment that I put on there, but it ended up coming together in the end, and it's so easy to just
rub on. I like I said earlier, I just love those rub on transfers. But anyway, I ended up getting that little wreath all the way around it, and it was gorgeous like that when I was done. I was so excited of what it looked like when I was done. And then I took the second little piece that I had made, and I realized I hadn't painted it yet. So I went in with my white Waverly chalk paint. I got it painted really good, and then it was ready to put onto the bottom of my vase. Now you'll notice a little key right there and some ribbon. I mean, not ribbon, but twine. I was going to string that twine around my vase and let that little key hang from it, but I just decided against it. So that's why they're laying there. But anyway, once I got this painted and glued on, and I, distressed it down with my little inks and stuff, I decided to make me some feet for the bottom, because y'all know I love me some little feet for the bottom of anything that I do. So I took 3 beads and I glued them together with my wood glue. And like I've said a million times before, they're not coming apart as long as you glue them together before you paint them. So that's what you see me doing, putting them on the stick and hot gluing them together to make my little legs. And now I'm using that skewer because it keeps my little beads straight. I've tried it in my hand and they were just not perfectly straight, so then my little legs weren't straight. But by putting it on the end of that little skewer, it makes it perfect every time. So now I'm going to take my antique wax and I'm going to paint it on. I'm not going to wipe it off because I want that dark distress color to match the legs on my tray that I made. And I want you to look at how this came together, y'all. I love this thing. My sister was here the other day, and she told me that tray and that vase was the prettiest thing she's ever seen that I made. But she has not seen actually what I made 2 nights ago. I cannot wait till the 28th to show you what I made. I know we're talking about this right now, but I'm so excited about the other. But anyway, look at how cute this turned out. I love the little feet on it. I think they are just adorable. And look at those embellishments. It took the tiniest little piece of clay to make those, and I think it just brought it up so high, and I can call it high end now. Now let me tell you about my milk jug vase. Look at here, y'all. I am so in love with this vase. I got this vase for 50 cents. If you look at that little sticker price right there, it says $2,4.99. I always go on Senior Day and get it half off. But look at those bubbles that are embedded in the glass of that vase. It is just so beautiful. I really fought with myself to even do anything to this because I didn't want to mess it up. But I washed it real good. I took me some masking tape and just eyeballed it and went around the edge. And to my surprise, I got it very straight. So I was kind of proud of myself because that's not easy to do. And then I took my ivory chalk paint. I went in and I painted the whole half of the bottom to this vase. And I love that ivory color. It is so pretty. No, it's not white, but you're going to see in the end how it comes together because I'm not going to distress this vase. Don't fall out of your chair, but I'm not going to distress this vase. I found that ribbon at the Family Dollar about 2 years ago, and I love that ribbon. I think it is just beautiful. I've never seen it again. I bought 1 roll and I've never seen it again. So there won't be a link to that below, but I just glued it onto the bottom. And then once I got that on there, I decided to take some of that, it's called farmhouse ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and put a little strip around the very middle of that piece that I just put on there. And I don't know why I didn't turn it sideways. This particular DIY right here is from when I had just started my channel. So I didn't really know a whole lot about, filming and stuff back then. So just bear with me. But I had to bring this back because it matched so perfectly with my first 2 DIYs. And they are together in my house now. Now that little bow right there came from, where did it come from? BB Crafts, and I love it. And then I took a couple of little buttons from the Dollar Tree. You can get those buttons in the dark colors like that, or you can get them in the real colorful colors. But I took 2 buttons and stacked them. One was a little smaller than the other, and I put some greenery down in there, and with that it was done. And y'all, I am so in love with this vase. It sits on a shelf in my den, and I get to look at it every day, and I'm just so in love with it. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about this. I love it. And see, that's pretty, and it don't have a lick of distressing on it, and it's just as pretty as it can be to me. And it's very farmhouse, it's very rustic, and it's very high end in my opinion. So let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Now let me show you my final reveal, and look at how it all comes together. And like I said, there's no distressing on that, and I used white versus ivory, but look at how beautiful they are together. I think they're beautiful together. You can let me know down in the comments very nicely. If you don't agree, that's fine. I love it when people don't agree with me, because I learn from that and I grow from that. But like I've said before, you don't have to be ugly when you tell me about it. Just give me some hints and tips, because when y'all give me those hints and tips, I do read them and I do keep them in my head, and a lot of times I will utilize what you tell me. So definitely bring on those suggestions. I love them, but let me know what you think about my video today and what you think about my Eucalyptus Dreams. I love these rub-on stickers. This is the 3rd time that I have used that package, and I still have enough stickers to probably do 2 or 3 more videos. Well, no, 1 or 2 more videos. So it is a great deal. I'm not being sponsored by this, but I'm just so in love with them. But I will list them in my description box, along with everything else that can be listed in the description box. But isn't that beautiful? Look at that. See the texture on that? That texture is like that because you paint it one way, and then on the second coat, you go back and you paint it the opposite way. And then that gives you that little texture. I've talked about that in a couple of my last 2 videos, how you can paint and bring a little bit of texture in. But I just wanted to say thank you again to Flexispot for sponsoring today's video. I highly recommend that you go to the link that I have provided for you and take advantage of that coupon code. And I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It is so smooth and so quiet and so perfect for, especially like me, people who have a hard time sitting for a long time. And I just love it. But anyway, if you're in the live chat, hey y'all, you know I love you, and I can't wait to talk to you every week. If you're not in the live chat and you keep hearing me say that and you want to know what it's all about, when the premiere starts, click on the live chat and we'll all be sitting there talking together. But for now, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Be blessed. Bye now.